Hello garden people. We're going to tackle the entryway gardens out front. There's quite a few perennial plants that need to be cut back. As you might hear, neighborhoods are noisy, so I'm probably going to do voiceovers more often than not. It might help with both my camera skills, being an editor, gardener, all the things. Here I'm cutting back the perennial hibiscus. These are the big dinner plate, bigger than your hand type blooming hibiscus. So I'm using both the big clippers and the small clippers for these plants. The small ones really to just kind of get into the plant, and then the big one really did the main bulk of the work here, because some of these stalks are like super thick. So it was definitely needed to have the bigger pruners out. You can see that a lot of the plant is starting to come back. These are the latest ones, the later ones to come back in the season, but eventually they start popping up from the ground. And so here's an example. Here I'm trying to talk and shoot the camera at the same time, and it's just not working out well. So that's where these voiceovers might come in a little bit better as far as camera skills go, since I'm fairly new to all of that. But it's fun, and I like to create, and it's the garden, and I like to show off my garden, who doesn't? But also, hopefully this will inspire other people to kind of go out of your comfort zone and do the things, you're not used to doing. You can't get better at things if you don't keep trying to do them. So here I'm trying to show you that where I'm cutting back too far, and this year was more experimenting, checking things out. Here you can see where the crown comes out, where the plant comes out from the crown. It's recommended to cut things back to about 6 inches to cut these stalks. And that helps for 2 reasons. One, so you're not cutting into the crown of the plant and potentially exposing it to diseases. But 2, in a year or 2, when those stalks that you've cut back this year die back, it makes it super easy to just like wiggle it just the teeniest bit, and it just like slips right out. So while you see like that one, it's just like that. So when you're cutting the plant back, you can also clean up the crown a bit. So 6 inches, I'll probably do that next year and going forward. Now this is a Beautyberry. These you can cut back pretty much the same as the hibiscus, which is about 6 inches from the crown, from the ground. And you can cut them back hard and they'll just come right on back. As you can see, there's a stick pointing up, and that's because on the other side there's a newly planted, very small young Beautyberry right there. So try to make a match a little. And I cut back the butterfly bush very hard, as you can see. And the bunnies cut back the alliums for me. This plant is a Caryopteris, and initially I had only intended to take it down just a little bit and kind of meatball it up a little. But you'll see in a little bit I had to go quite a bit further, which really kind of worked out well, because again, I have another Caryopteris, just like I have another Beautyberry, and taking this plant back farther than I had anticipated is good, because it kind of now makes them match a little bit better, because the other Caryopteris is smaller. So right there you can see the plant, there was a split that I discovered once I got in there. So I ended up taking that whole spot out and it just made a big hole. So down it went, which is fine, and the plant will be fine. It will grow back quite well, and it's a beautiful plant too. So I'm excited to have both of these plants kind of matching. As you can see, here's the newer, younger one. I was also able to get the grass reseeded in the pathways, which is good because it was looking quite patchy. And you know, there's a difference between hiring professionals, because had I been able to do that, it would look fantastic from the get-go. Everything would be level. I wouldn't have to do this extra work, that type of thing. But for me, for my time, my budget, and since it's my garden, this gives me a chance to kind of decide if I like the grass pathways. If I want to eventually do stone, I could do that later. Maybe a stone stack wall on the sides. We'll see. For me, in my garden, it's a garden therapy situation. I love getting out. I love doing it. So I hope this video inspires you to get out into your garden spaces or create in your own individual way. And thank you for taking the gardening journey with me.